Hello, Williamson County Emergency Services. It's Tania Glenn, and I am bringing you the second video in our series as we get through this coronavirus event. And so the first one you saw was on the deployment cycle, which of course many of you have responded affirmatively that you fully understand now why you're doing what you're doing and the way things are, which is great feedback. Today, I want to talk to you about the phases of disasters. And this you will find in yourselves, in your family members, and also in the public. As you go out and run calls and serve the public, you'll find that they're mirroring the exact same phases. So we have these phases of disasters. The red ones are the ones I'm going to focus on today because those are the psychological phases. If there's a threat or a warning, then we start to listen to that. The impact is the hit, and the inventory is when we look around to see the damage done. But then we hit the psychological phases. And the first one is the heroic phase. You guys, this is when people rise to the occasion. They kick butt, they take names, they save lives. This is when we as teams, as agencies, and as communities, when we pull together and amazing things happen. People change their normal behaviors to help others. And this is a really wonderful thing where we see the best in each other. This then leads to the honeymoon phase, which is super nice because out of all the altruism that we demonstrate in that heroic phase, what happens is people just feel good and we've pulled together, we band together, and we're in this together, and it feels amazing. Then what happens, and this always comes to us, is the disillusionment. Now, this is akin to the anger phase in grief, and this is really, really important to understand because it's normal and we're all going to go through it. What I tell folks all the time, it's what you do with this phase that really matters. So in disillusionment, we become frustrated, we become angry, we just want to go back to normal. And this kind of brings out the worst in all of us. We lose our temper a little bit, we get frustrated, our fuse is short, and we just want to go back to the way things were. And of course, that doesn't happen because the way things were, it's changed significantly. And so when we lean into that, and when we start to adjust to our new normal, and as we pull through this crisis, we then hit the reconstruction. And the reconstruction is the rebuild. It's kind of like how our society and how our world looks after this event. I always say that the further you move into reconstruction, the less of a smudge it becomes on your timeline. A lot of times when we have big events, we say, oh, that was before the event and that's been after the event. And the further we get into reconstruction, which is the rebuild, the less we do that, and we will get there. One thing I want to mention in this brief is what's going on with your family members. So what they experience is this thing called vicarious trauma. And vicarious trauma happens when someone is exposed to the pain of others. So your family members, when they see your stress, they feel your stress. They're like sponges. They absorb your stress. And so a lot of times what we find is your family members have the same sort of signs and symptoms that you do, whether it's irritability or insomnia or anxiety, those kinds of things. And so it's really important to know and understand that this is a very, very valid thing that happens to the human brain. When you're connected to someone you love and they're going through stress, what happens is you take on that stress. And so please understand that your family members are going through vicarious trauma right now, and that is a really good reason for them to get help as well. Finally, what I want to remind you guys is the importance of getting help. Reach out to us. You can do telehealth. You can come in. The bottom line is this: where we want all of our clients to end up is in this amazing thing called post-traumatic growth. And post-traumatic growth is hard-earned. It's called wisdom, and wisdom causes gray hair. But what happens when people reach post-traumatic growth is they say things like, I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but it's made me better, stronger, and wiser. And we want all of our clients to get there. The key is that if you are struggling, get help now. If you wait and it's years later and you're going through all these other things simultaneously and it's a struggle, it's just more work for you. So as soon as you know that things aren't right, just come on in, let's get it resolved, and we'll get you to post-traumatic growth. The bottom line is keep living your life the way you can, however you can. Don't forget to have your fun. Don't forget to enjoy the things that you can. Don't forget to laugh. You have to keep your sense of humor. This is so very important. Exercise and humor are nature's antidepressants. Please, please don't forget that. And the bottom line is don't forget to also love each other. Be there for each other, support each other. We're all going to have our bad days, and our bad days are coming, and they're all going to be different at different times, at different phases. But be there for each other as we get through this crisis together, and we will pull through it. Finally, again, here's our contact information. If you want to do telehealth, if you want to do a call to us, or if you want to do a FaceTime, that's perfectly fine. If you want to come in, we're fully operational. Please just make the call and understand that really now more than ever, it's okay to ask for help. Thank you, guys.